Welcome back, party people. You know what it is. 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. It is the BMR Odds Show, brought to you by Bookmakers Review. I am Jordan Sharp. Joining me, as always, is my guys, Junior Browne and Jay Money is Money. And last night, small three-game slate, but yours truly, we got a win. 1-0 again for the second straight day, so can't complain. Another undefeated day. Got the first half over in the Knicks and the Spurs. Knicks just absolutely could not be stopped in the first half and pretty much the full game as well. It's a little surprised San Antonio's defense didn't play a little bit better in the second half, but still got the win regardless. You got the full game over in that as well. Brooklyn and Dallas, close one last night. Would depend on what line you got. If you got the line right when Luka Doncic got ruled probable, you cashed. If not, the Nets won last night. So probably a good one for the books in that regard. And then, of course, the Lakers. We talked about that. I know Jake Money was telling us that the Lakers, it was Lakers or nothing yesterday. So pretty good day for the show yesterday. Want to know on my officials. Junior, how you doing today, man? How was your official picks yesterday?
Yeah, I just had one pick. It was that parlay. Didn't hit because the Spurs, as usual for some reason, will not only screw me when I invest money on them, but just don't play well at home right now. I made the assumption that they'd be able to turn it around after this pretty good stretch that they've had recently, but that wasn't the case. I'm fine with it, honestly. And Jay was very sharp in his breakdown yesterday of the Nets, which is why I said, listen, I wouldn't lay those points to them on the road. But I wouldn't lay that many points on them on the road. But in a money line parlay, I did have confidence that they'd win. That's exactly what happened, and they did not cover that 4-point spread. So, Jay, how was your night last night?
It was all right, man. I wish that the Mavs had won the game. I didn't have a bet on it, but just as a fan, I was rooting for the Mavs. They were up 18, pissed it away in the fourth quarter. So good job by the Nets, James Harden and Kevin Durant. But I think there was more on the Mavs just pissing it away. Did have a personal play on the Knicks there, and then the Lakers as well, man. I did end up betting the heavy leans, just some little sprinkles, man. But I'm ready to get to today's cash.
Yeah, you heard him. Let's get to it. Let's start to roll. We got a big slate today, lots to talk about, and I believe this first game is going to be a good one as well. A couple divisional rivals here lining up for our first game tonight. We got the Chicago Bulls and the Cleveland Cavaliers from, as Jay would say, the streets of Cleveland tonight, and a big game for the Cleveland Cavaliers as well, because I was talking to Jay about this one before as well. They always get up to play the Bulls. It doesn't matter what iteration of the Chicago Bulls there is. It doesn't matter who's playing or who's not playing for Cleveland. They're always going to play hard against this team, and the Bulls still winning, but a little banged up right now. And I think the train has to stop somewhere, right? They surprised us, I think, against Denver a few nights ago, which is definitely something we lost money on the show too. But this is the night I think that the Cleveland Cavaliers get it done. And I know Jay agrees with me, so I'm gonna kick it over to him real quick because I don't have a play on this game. But Jay, I know you're leaning that direction, so tell the people what you're thinking tonight.
Yeah, man, I like the Cavs here. I think you look up, the Cleveland Cavaliers are favored over the Chicago Bulls, man. And they still got Levine and Ball, everybody, and not everybody, because DeRozan's still out. Javonte Green's out. They'll be without Caruso as well. So you could argue that Caruso and DeRozan are the two most important players outside of Zach LaVine for the Bulls. They're without this guy. You can do it for one game and beat a team without, and I think that was more so on the Nuggets just melting that one away. Bulls have won 4 straight and covered 4 straight as well. I think that the Cavs mainly so, guys. I don't know if you guys have been watching the Cavs, but this team looks like a playoff team this year. They were even down a few guys as well. I mean, they're still down 60. It's the style of play that they play basketball. They play defense. They play hard every single play. You even see guys like Kevin Love buying in. Actually, even though his hair is gray as hell out there, he looked like he actually wants to play basketball. So when I see that, I say, what does Bickerstaff has these guys on? I don't know. They've covered 8 straight games, but not even that. Just the brand of basketball they're playing. I think it's a bet on for me, and I'm taking them versus a depleted Bulls squad today. I think they have the defense and the Twin Towers down low to get this win here, Junior. I like the Cavs -3.
You're muted, Junior.
But there's just a lot of background noise here, so I had to unmute. What I was saying was, well, first of all, since we're talking about the Bulls, Jay, and Jordan, because you're a Chicago guy, need y'all to see that. Michael Jordan.
Yes, sir.
I'm taking the under 211.5. And the reason I'm taking that is both teams play defense, especially the Cavaliers, like Jay mentioned. And the Cavaliers do something that's super underrated when you're capping games. They defend without fouling. They have the lowest free throw rate on the defensive side in the NBA, which tells you that they just play straight up hard-nosed defense, and their team concepts are really good too. Because teams that foul a ton, that's to me a sign that their defense is unorganized. You're usually fouling a lot because you're recovering late and having to help your guy that got beat and all this other foolishness. The Cavs don't have none of that. If you really watch their games, they really put the clamps down on a lot of teams. Another thing that they do really well, even though it's not relevant to this game because the Bulls don't shoot that many threes, the Cavs defend the three well. They obviously, because they don't foul a lot, they don't allow a lot of free throws, they don't allow a lot of rebounds. They're just good all around because those of you that have been watching the three of us do this show for a while, you'll know my theory, or it's not a theory, it's just a fact. The last act of defense is rebounding. If you're not a good rebounding team, you ain't a good defensive team. It's as simple as that. So I think that both of these teams are going to come in and do what they do best, which is defend. Obviously, everybody expects the Bulls to have a huge downturn without DeRozan, because one underrated part of DeRozan's game is that he literally gets better every single season. He can't shoot threes, but other than that, he's gotten better as a basketball player every season. He's like 31 years old at this point, so I got a huge amount of respect for him. And they will miss him a ton, which means that they're going to just lean on defense even more. I don't think that they'll score less points, but I think that their points per game will be relatively the same and their defensive intensity will increase. I think Lonzo Ball is going to give Garland a hell of a time tonight, and I think that I like Jay's play, but I think there's more value for me personally on the total, so I'm on under 211.5.
I don't disagree. I think this is going to be one where the public's all over the underdogs here, and I think the sharper play is on the favorite here. I think we're all kind of like leaning towards that though. If we don't have anything else, let's get to this next one here.
Jordan.
Yeah,
I did want to ask you real quick about what do you think about Vucevic going up against Mobley and Jared Allen? Just real quick before we get to the next game.
They're going to try to make him guard out on the perimeter, I think some, and by that I think putting him in pick and roll is probably the main attack mode for Cleveland tonight. And that, I mean, if they do that, they're going to have a lot of success, I think, because those bigs are way more mobile than he is. They're way faster. They're way more athletic. They're not only going to give him problems when he's on offense, they're going to try to either get him in foul trouble early by attacking him in the pick and roll, or just trying to get easy buckets that way. I would not be surprised if he struggles tonight. I don't know if it's so much that I would like bet the under on his prop, because without DeRozan, his usage is going to is and continues to just skyrocket. And they figured out getting him involved early is kind of their way to control the pace and control the style of game they play too. So I mean, like I wouldn't go so far as to fade him tonight, but like the one thing that would keep him to go under his prop tonight is I think if they do get him in some early foul trouble and he's not able to stay on the court. But yeah, I think if DeRozan was playing, I'd say fade his point props. But without DeRozan, he's going to have a usage rate somewhere of like 28 to 30% with Levine. So probably going to stay away from that side of things.
That's a good point, man. Let's go to that Knicks Pacers part.
Yeah, this is another game that I think there's gonna be a lot of action on either side of this thing. Wouldn't surprise me. That's one of the reasons why I'm laying off. Knicks coming off a back-to-back, obviously now going into Indiana, and then oh boy, news breaks here that the Pacers finally, after about 4 years of mediocrity and just floating around this weird aura of NBA basketball where you're not bad and you're not good, and that means you're the worst, because that's the way the NBA is set up, and it rewards the worst teams and the very best teams, and being mediocre just doesn't do it. And news broke from Bob Kravitz and Shams over the Athletic that there's some shopping going around in Indiana, and it's of the selling variety, and it's been endorsed finally by ownership, and that's never great. And there's a report that they had a meeting with those core four guys, Brogdon, LeVert, Sabonis, and Turner. Obviously Brogdon cannot be traded because he's just signed an extension, but it's never gonna improve the way that they play. And I think that with their start to the year, they're kind of looking at this as it would be bad if we didn't shop these guys around, because just getting the 8 seed and being an easy first round out is worse than being in the lottery. So if you're betting on the Pacers, and I see them catching steam, I get it. This may be an inflection point that turns things around for them. They finally start playing better. I don't know what the motivation is going to be for this team, but it's definitely not going to be me betting either side of this spread. I am scared so far off from both of these teams in these current spots. The only way I could look at it would be the under, but then it's shot down 3.5 points. So got a question of what the Knicks are going to look like on a second night of a back-to-back here as well. So complete stay-away spot for me, despite with all things considered here, spots and drama for the Pacers included. So I'll go to Junior this time first. What do you think about this one, Junior?
Oh, you can go to me because I'm going to be quick. This subject annoys the shit out of me because I've been saying this for 2 years. So if I can see that the Pacers should have been shopping these guys 2 years ago, what the hell took so long for the Pacers front office to figure it out?
Ownership, man. Ownership. It's all about ownership. They thought they could sell more tickets by being mediocre, and then the fans abandoned them anyways. It's just complete backwards thinking, and I don't understand it at all.
So that what you just said kind of finishes my point. So that's all I have to say about that. It's absolute mismanagement that it's taken them this long to make this move. It's nonsense. And as for this game, bad spot for the Knicks, turmoil with the Pacers. It's a pass for me.
It's like, why would we bet this game right now? I mean, it's obviously Knicks or nothing. Why would you? They just came out and said they're finna do a full rebuild. That Sabonis, LeVert, and Turner, probably the 3 most important players on the team right now, are very likely to get traded and shopped around. Right? They're not gonna be. There's no huge motivation spot. Oh, let's go in here and play balls to the wall. No, those guys don't want to get injured. If anything, I mean, you don't want to look bad for your next team, but they know they can ball regardless. Me personally, head-wise, like as far as thinking going into the game, it has to be Knicks taking the points or absolutely nothing. There's no way in the hell I'd lay points with the Pacers in this one. We get to the next game.
Yeah, real quick, let's get to the next game. But I just want to say also, small market teams, draft well, sign those guys to extensions. It's the only way to win. And if you got to bottom out, you got to bottom out. And that's the position the Pacers in right now. This game, go ahead.
That's why the Pacers don't have an excuse. That division only has one big market team, the Bulls. The rest of that division is a bunch of small market teams. So the blueprint is really obvious. It's in your entire backyard. If you guys couldn't get it right, nonsense. Sorry.
I know. It's okay. I could go on all day about this. I know Cleveland has gotten some good luck in the lottery lately, but just look at what they're doing this year. I mean, it's
exactly
the blueprint. I could go on this all day, guys. I'm heated about this one. We got to move on though, because I do have a play on this one, and one I added late to the sheet today, but one that I could not help but give out today. Jazz and Wolves. We got the Wolves taking points at home. Down a lot though with the news that Patrick Beverley is going to be, and that news just broke over the last 90 minutes or so. Down to 7.5 from 9 points. I want to take the points, but I respect the Jazz a little bit too much, even though they're like 6 or 7 points worse on offense on the road, and defensively they're still pretty good. Do take a little bit. Obviously, the home court advantage is huge for them. We talk about that all the time, but on the road they're still very good defensively. But you know who's really good at home defensively? The Minnesota Timberwolves. And you know who the only team that's better than them at home defensively? The Golden State Warriors this year. That's a pretty large sample size. Minnesota's been showing the cracks a little bit at times on the road, but we just talked about this with the Cleveland Bulls game. Divisional game. This is a big spot for the Minnesota Timberwolves to kind of show that they're to be taken for real. And the only way they're going to do that is to play defense tonight and to grab the reins of this game, both pace-wise and stylistically, and make sure that they make the Utah Jazz work as much as possible on the offensive end. Now, Utah's offense, good enough to overcome even the best of defenses. But I think that the way the Minnesota has been playing at home this year has convinced me, at least in this game, to bet the under at 220 points. Add in the fact that all these other guys are questionable or out for Minnesota as well. I think you're just getting good value here with this 220-point total, because I do expect Utah's offense to take a dip tonight, being on the road and against this defense. And I expect Utah's defense to still play very well, and Minnesota's offense to continue to struggle. Would not surprise me to see both of these teams fall under 110 points tonight. In fact, that's how I got it handicapped. I got it at about 109, 104 right now. So I think the under here is the best play for this game. Give it to me at 220 points. What do you got for us, Jay?
That's a damn good point, bro. And without them having Russell out there, if they had Russell in this, I'd be all over the Timberwolves. I'll tell you that. They'll miss his offense, and he's the worst defender on the team. So with Beverly in for Russell swap, they get actually light years better defensively, even better in there at the house. So I'm not really a total better. I bet spreads, but like I want to lean Timberwolves. I'm staying off, but you basically talking me into the under. And like I say, I know what D'Angelo Russell means to the team offensively and defensively. Starting Beverly hurts your offense, helps your defense there. So that under. I like it. Obviously the Jazz, as many threes as they shoot, they could get hot in any game, and it's really tough. But I'm with you on that. Definitely, it should be under or nothing for me here.
What do you got, Junior?
Well, since we're talking about the Jazz, I know, but and seriously though, it's Wolves or nothing. D'Angelo Russell being out is the only reason that I'm not on this game. The fact is, Utah in their last 5 road games are 1-4 ATS, so there's that. Minnesota is like 5-1 ATS after a loss, if I'm not mistaken. In their last 6, they're 5-2 ATS in their last 7 home games, and they've beaten Utah like 3 times in a row straight up. So I can only really look to Minnesota. The D'Angelo Russell news, though, it has me afraid. But your Jordan really actually has me looking heavily at the under. Obviously, I'm not going to just jump on it without doing my own research. But your take has me leaning that way at least. So once we get off the show, I'm going to look into that a little further because I like every point that you made, especially with D'Angelo Russell, as both you and Jay mentioned, being their worst offender. It might be a bit of an addition by subtraction in terms of that pick. So I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and Minnesota matches up well with this team. It's already started to come down a little bit too. It opened at 220.5. I see some 219s out there. You mentioned last year Minnesota's success against Utah. They held them to an offensive rating of just 103.3. This is the deadly Utah Jazz offense that we're talking about. So I mean, these divisional opponents at home. Don't discount them, even against the best of teams. If that's one thing that I've learned about the NBA throughout my time doing this, it's that the home dogs, they bark a lot, and it usually, if it happens, it happens on defense. So I agree. I think with Russell out, you gotta kind of pump the brakes just a little bit on Minnesota. But yeah, I really like the under here. One of my top plays of the day. The other one I got.
Jordan,
go ahead.
Just real quick, the Jazz play in Philly tomorrow, first game of a back-to-back. So I know they already smacked Philly by 35, but still, it's the first game back-to-back. Just psychologically, could possibly be a tad bit like it's a tad bit of could be a look-ahead game, even though it's an Eastern Conference. But I liked it under. I'll probably end up riding with you, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot tonight. The other pick I like a lot tonight, though, and maybe like a little bit better. I wrote this one up for BMR as well, and this one's been catching some steam as well. Portland Trailblazers on the road against the Golden State Warriors, and we have the Warriors as I believe the biggest. I know there's been some bigger spreads. I think there's been some 16 and 17 pointers this year, if I'm not mistaken, too. One of those, but I mean this is one of the biggest spreads I have ever seen this season so far. And the main reason for that is, of course, Damian Lillard's still out. But last night it was announced that C.J. McCollum has a collapsed lung. So we are sending our thoughts and prayers, obviously, to him and hoping that he can get better and get back on the court as soon as possible and not have any adverse effects from that. But that is absolute just gut-wrenching for a Portland Trailblazers team that was already reeling, already dealing with the drama of trade rumors. And on top of that, you have 2 rotational players questionable as well tonight. You got Nas Little questionable. Who's the other guy they got questionable?
Probably Simons.
Yeah, Simons. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Simons. Like, I mean,
Zeller questionable. Ben McLemore.
Everybody. Even the guys at the end of the bench are questionable. Like, it's circling the drain time for the Portland Trailblazers, and I don't lay big spreads like this. There's just nothing in anything in the NBA that can get me to lay 14 points with anybody. But there is the game to do it. This would be it. That being said, I'm fading the Blazers side of things here. For a couple of reasons. I'll be quick, like I said, because I wrote this up for BMR and I want to give Junior and Jay a chance. But these 2 teams played a few weeks ago in Golden State, and Portland was pretty much completely healthy and only mustered up 103 points. Now you're telling me they're without 2 starters and potentially a couple of rotational players, and they've been, just like I said, circling the drain offensively lately. They're averaging just a league worst 97.6 points per 100 possession their last 3. Haven't made it to 100 points in 2 of those 3. And they already kind of struggle offensively on the road against the league's best home defense, as I just mentioned when we talked about the Timberwolves. Yeah, Blazers under 100 points tonight is my best bet of the night. I got it under 100.5 at -110. That's already steamed to -120. I think it may be down to 99.5 points at some shops, but it would very much surprise me with both of these two teams having a big long break. I don't think either of these two teams play until Saturday or Sunday after tonight. So real no look ahead spots at all. This is just a spot where Golden State's going to come in. If they play their best defense, 90 points would surprise me here for the Blazers, let alone 100. So give me under 100.5 for the Blazers team total tonight. Jay, what you got for this one?
Yeah, nothing for me, man. The Warriors, they did just lay 16 versus the Magic the other day and smacked them up. So I'm not betting against the Warriors. This is a late night ESPN game. There's no way in hell I'm betting this game, my guy. So I like your looks there, Jordan. Obviously, Simons, if Simons is out, it just gets even worse. So I'm not huge on Simons, but it's to that point where the Blazers, Simons is huge on the injury report for the Blazers. I never thought we'd get here, but we're here. What are we doing here, man? No, there's no way. Yeah, they got a ton of defenders over there. I'd be looking at the under and possibly Blazers team total under. But like I say, late night ESPN game. There's no way you could pay me to bet this game, Junior.
Man, if y'all don't get this NCAA ass spread out of my face, I ain't betting this with y'all money. This game is so goddamn bad. We just had Jay Money talking positively about Anthony Simons. Are you guys serious right now? That as soon as I heard Jay say Anthony Simons is important to this game, I couldn't have said anything more to let you know that this is a complete stay away. Come on, bro.
His importance though cannot be discounted simply for the fact, like I said, that if he's not out there, who handles the ball for them tonight? And there's so many things going on with this game. Portland. Before tonight, I won some money fading Portland 2 nights ago. So I did this one though, man. It's just time, y'all. We talked about the Pacers needing to blow it up. The Blazers have been that way for weeks now. I'm sorry to say they're the Indiana Pacers of the Western Conference, to say the least. Make some trades. Let's get Ben Simmons on another team. Get him playing again here. Let's get something going here with the trade mill. I know that deadline for guys who just signed to get traded here is coming up here in a week, so we should see some movement on that. Anyways,
Jordan, real quick, what is
go for it.
Okay, now I'm just trying to see what the team total. I see you got it at 100.5. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's at 99 to 100 most shops. Either 99 and you're even money, or 100 and you're laying money essentially.
I'd be surprised if it didn't hit. Only way they could not hit is if the Warriors just look past them, or if there's some under the table shit here. Which I'll be honest, I hate when there's a huge injury that comes out the day before, and then everybody knows about it, and then ESPN game 2, and obviously it's the Warriors. They're one of the best spread teams already this year. Obviously the public's gonna be all over this shit. I can't stand these type of games, but I can't stand the bookies even more. So I hope they cash, smack them up by 40, man. 142 to 99. Let's go.
Yeah, I would say that first half Warriors seems like a more appealing bet to me, because I could see them very easily just saying, we're just going to clamp these guys in the first half, get up by 20, 25 points, and just coast in the second half. And they don't play again until Saturday when they start a big long road trip. This is, if there's a Smack City spot on the card, this is obviously it. But like I said, I don't lay double-digit spreads with almost anybody in any spot. It's not going to be tonight either. Let's get to the officials for the day, because we've got to get the people out of here. We got a big slate of games. I'm going to shoot it over to my guy Junior Browne here to go first. What you got for officials?
Yeah, Bulls Cavs under 211.5 for all the reasons I mentioned. On top of the fact that, as Jordan very accurately stated, the Cavs, even when they're trash, get up for the Bulls. These division matchups are a lot closer than we think. So I'm going with the under here in what I expect to be a defensive battle.
Jay, what about you?
Hold on 1 second. Before Jay goes, I'm very, very interested in that Portland team total after your breakdown. I'm probably going to run with that too.
Yes, sir.
We waiting on every... we waiting on him. Now I'm messing with
biggest injury on the slate.
Even if he's in there, what are we doing here? Him and Powell would literally have to go for 30. Him, Powell, and Nurkic will have to probably combine for 80 points for them to get to pass that team total, in my opinion. So I obviously with all the guys there, I don't know. I'd wait for a little bit more injuries, but they're definitely the only way I could look. Full game under and team total under in that one. But I like the Cavs today, man. You guys mentioned as well something I didn't even look at. I didn't even really care about their history in this one. This was is simply on how the Cavs have been playing this year. But you guys say, hey, if they're trash and they get up versus the Bulls against for not better Bulls teams, but a lot worse Cavs team, this is probably the best team they've had since having LeBron over there. Like, what are we doing here? These guys really building something from the bottom. I love to see it. I love how they're playing hard every single night. Like I said, you brought Kevin Love back to life. You could do that. They got something brewing over there, man. I like the Cavs today, and I think this actual one could get ugly the way that these guys never give up. They never let their foot off the gas. Cavs -3. Let's go.
Yeah, I like it. If I could get odds, I might shoot a note over to one of the books and see if I can't get odds on my guy Ricky Rubio for a triple-double tonight, because something crazy like that's going to happen if the Cavs do win this game. So, I mean,
Rubio balling off the bench.
Exactly. Without Sexton, man, he's had to take on a big minute. So, there's going to be some wonky stuff on tonight. I got the Blazers under 100.5 on their team total tonight. Got under 220 in the Wolves and the Jazz. Love those unders in those divisional games. Let's get some money tonight, everybody. Thank you for joining us. As always, we are here every day, 12:30 Eastern Pacific, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, for my guy Junior Browne and my guy Jay Money as Money. This has been the NBA Show, brought to you by BMR. Let's get some cash tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.